So, I'm gonna come forward and be honest. In most of my past lives with my wife, I was a petty asshole. I was pretty petty. Um, I didn't allow her to stay in relationships when I met her, okay? Her relationships that she was with, especially the one with Sam Cooke, it needed to come to an end. Sam gets mad at me because he says, "Oh well, he just talked shit to get to have Marie leave me and all this other stuff." And it's not the fact that it was that dude; it's just the fact that he was just rolling in with all the drugs and shit, and he was just being a bad fucking influence. And then he had some other cokeheads around him as well. Whatever it is that I know that my wife loved him because he was a musician. He knew how to do all this other stuff, and that's great and all, but he was just mostly a drug addict, and I didn't like him for that. Um, and so, I felt the need to kind of intervene in that relationship to get her away from those bad influences. And then, she had her other hookup, James Brown, a bit older for her. And so James Brown has it out for me because, I interrupted again. And then not only that, we kind of both were, um, she was kind of playing him, actually. She was playing him, and she was with me at that time with she was with James Brown. But honestly, that happened because, first and foremost, he deserved it. He used to beat the shit out of her anyways, and she was just so afraid to leave that relationship in that past life because he like I said, people failed to acknowledge that James Brown was ever, yeah, he was a great, affront, but the thing is, he wasn't a good person always, you know but that was also the time too, so you can't really base it off of that. But you know, there was just a lot of abuse in that relationship, and he tends to haunt the both of us in this life too. And I've been trying to talk him out to leave us both alone and all this stuff. But yeah, he's kind of working to calm his temper about it. But yeah, I just want to say from the universe that I'm sorry to James Brown, but at the same time, he was a very selfish person. He hurt other people, he made selfish decisions and all this other stuff. And he didn't really love Mary. He loved her because she was just young, and he could just think he could live his glory days, you know what I mean? So yeah, I do take my accountability in that part where I wasn't perfect. But I feel like in a way I did intervene in the right way, you know what I mean?